250 million years ago, long before the first dinosaurs set foot on Earth, terrifying and strange creatures roamed the planet. The Permian period marked a chapter of history almost forgotten, yet it was one of the most important in the story of life. The land challenged life with harshness. The climate shifted unpredictably. To survive, creatures needed strength, speed, and the ability to adapt. Here, evolution produced monsters unlike anything alive today. Key takeaway: the Permian period was characterized by extreme conditions and unique evolutionary developments. Imagine the blazing sun scorching endless deserts, the ground cracked and dry. Suddenly, silence breaks. A Dimetrodon's shadow rises over the rocks. Its sail, a towering fan of bone and skin, glows like a blood-red banner. This was not a dinosaur. It lived millions of years before them. Dimetrodon, a predator with razor teeth and cunning instincts, dominated the Permian plains. For early life, it was the embodiment of fear, but Dimetrodon was not alone. In what is now Russia and South Africa, another beast prowled, the Inostrancevia, a massive predator with saber-like fangs. Its deadly teeth, longer than a man's hand, could easily pierce hide. Inostrancevia's power lay in precision, killing with quick, decisive strikes. Its presence intensified the battle for survival across the Permian world. Yet, Inostrancevia had competition. Still more terrors lurked. Packs of gorgonopsids, lean and fast hunters, chased down anything weaker than themselves. Their long skulls and blade-filled jaws were perfectly built for tearing flesh. Picture a dozen of them moving together, growling and circling like wolves, only far more deadly. The land was a predator's paradise, and every creature knew that the hunter could become the hunted at any moment. But the Permian was not only about its predators. Not all the giants of the Permian were killers. Some were armored survivors, built to withstand attack. The Pareiasaurs, giant, lumpy-skinned herbivores, moved across the dry landscapes in herds. Their bony knobs and ridges gave them an almost alien appearance, and their sheer size kept most predators at bay. Beside them roamed moschops, thick-bodied plant-eaters with massive skulls they used like battering rams in brutal head-to-head clashes. The ground would shake as two moschops collided, each trying to prove dominance in this unforgiving land. While fierce predators ruled the land, the rivers and wetlands held their own threats. Amphibians like Prehistoric, a crocodile-like giant, lurked beneath the waters, waiting to ambush their prey. Insects grew enormous. Dragonflies with wingspans as wide as hawks cut through the air, and scorpions as long as a man's arm scuttled across the sand. Extremes on both land and water kept life in a constant state of tension. Yet, behind this abundance, danger was gathering. Hidden beneath all this vitality was danger. The earth itself was restless. Massive volcanic eruptions shook the land, releasing poisonous gases into the skies. Temperatures rose, rain became scarce. Slowly, the Permian world began to crumble. Imagine standing in a once lush valley, watching the riverbeds dry to dust, entire herds collapsing from thirst. Predator and prey alike were trapped in the same cycle, without water, plants, or hope. The consequences quickly became catastrophic. As the centuries passed, the crisis deepened. Oceans have grown increasingly acidic, suffocating marine life. Coral reefs, once vibrant with color, bleached and crumbled. Giant fish and ancient sharks vanished. On land, volcanoes in Siberia released toxic clouds that darkened the skies for years. Ancient forests withered, leaving behind endless barren landscapes. This was no ordinary disaster. It marked the start of Earth's greatest extinction. And then the final blow struck. In a geologic heartbeat, life was nearly erased. More than 90% of all species have disappeared. The mighty Dimetrodon, the saber-fanged Inostrancevia, the herds of Pareiasaurs, all were gone. The age of the Permian ended not with a roar, but with silence. Scientists call it the Great Dying. Eventually, the stage was empty when the Earth had finally healed and the ashes of the Permian era had settled. Into this void stepped new rulers, the dinosaurs. They would dominate for over 150 million years. But their rise was only possible because of what had come before. The monsters of the Permian paved the way, teaching evolution the price of power and the necessity of resilience. And so, the echoes of the Permian still whisper through time. Every mammal, predator, and even we remains a spark of those ancient survivors. The world of the Permian may be lost to fire and extinction, but its legacy lives on. Without it, there would be no dinosaurs, humans, or a future. Key takeaway: the Permian's legacy is foundational to all subsequent life. This was not just prehistory. This was the crucible of life, the greatest trial Earth has ever endured, and from its ashes, a new world was born.